This portion talks about, this is the portion that we read on Yom Kippur, Leviticus 16. We read Acharei-Kedoshim, after the death. After the death of Aaron's two sons who offered strange fire. You don't come anywhere, anyhow, anywhere, anytime like the woman comes. There's some precisions, there's some specifics, and they could not go into the Holy of Holies at any time. Holiness. The idea of holiness. Holiness is a place. Holiness is a space. Holiness is a time. The first holiness that we get, something that is separated, is during the time of creation. Is that correct? And God did what with the seventh day? And God blessed the seventh day. And God did what with it? He sanctified it. He made it holy. He codified it as a special day. And he sustained this special day that had this special time, a time of holiness. Now, what is holiness? What is holiness? Is holiness singing real good? Is holiness running real fast? Holiness, our holiness code, and I want you to read this with me so that we don't get it twisted. Because see, some of us come from places where you think if you run around the building a lot, then that means you're holy. You having fun, and there's nothing wrong with fun. But that don't mean you're holy. I want you to work with me now. I'm not trying to offend nobody. But holiness is not jumping up and down. Holiness is not running up and down the aisle. That's not holiness. It's not holiness. That's not how we acquire holiness. It does not work that way. Holiness is not speaking in tongues. That's not holiness. Holiness is not throwing up somebody else's name. I heard a brother say the other day, I mean, it was an oxymoron. Because he said, well, you know, time is not given to God because God don't have no birthday. And in the very next breath, he started talking about holiness. You know, I was just, hey, okay, some things just go so far beyond your understanding. I guess like Michael Thompson saying, it's a mystery. He got that in the other place that he used to go to. And everything is so mysterious until nobody even understands the mystery itself. But I want you to go with me, if you have a Pentateuch, to page 488. If you don't have a Pentateuch and you have a Bible, I'm in the Leviticus, the 18th chapter. 18th chapter. Some of these things that are called holiness are very mundane. With respect to your sideburn, how they should be cut. It's not that you can't cut them, how they should be cut. Okay? Now, with respect to what you got on and the mixing of your clothing. Now, we ain't even going to talk about barely wearing any clothes. Because that's not holy. That's not holy when you don't have, you know. Come on, Rabbi, I saw you beat that dog. That's not holy. All right? But help me out here. Leviticus 18:1. And I want relationship. Is relationship. Okay? And in a relationship between people, you can't uncover the nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother. So in other words, he's telling us that there's sacred spaces that you cannot invade. They are holy. So you just can't see your brother's wife, and when your brother ain't home, go over to talk to your brother's wife. Well, honey, I know John Lee. And he'll be gone for about a month. I just want to know that you need anything. And if she don't say, I need you to leave me alone, then something's wrong with both of you. The holiness code. Okay? So this chapter talks all about relationships that are out of bounds for Israel. We were told not to copy. What does he say? That these were the doings of the land that you left. And these were the doings of the people of the land that you were going to. And it's interesting because we get really caught up in being around people. And the more we're around people, we think that the more we see something, that it's okay. Because everybody is doing it. So we see some of our young brothers with their pants down because everybody else is doing it. It's got to be okay. We see our sisters sometimes with, everything out. Because everybody, that's how the movie stars dress. They dress where, just got a little strip coming down right here and down here, and, and then look at. They got a new swimsuit thing now I saw on the internet. It was like this big on a woman. I was like, whoa! I cut my computer off right away. Honor your father and your mother, and keep my Shabbat. And that means even if they don't honor you, it doesn't give you an opportunity or the ability or the authority not to honor them. In other words, to respect them when you are around them. To give them some acronym, some respect. Well, I know what he did, but to still give respect. And to honor and to keep the Shabbat. I am the Lord your God. Verse 4. Turn ye not unto the idols. Now, idols can be anything. You ever seen guys on their car and don't want nobody when they park, they'll park their car in such a manner that they take up 2 spaces so nobody can park by them? We were coming here today and the guy had an old vintage Monte Carlo and he pulled up in his lot. There were parking spaces all over down. He pulled all the way over in another particular space. Okay? There wasn't a parking space. And that's when he parked. So that way nobody can park next to him. Nobody can do anything to his car. Sometimes we get things and we take them a little bit too far. We hold, keep the car clean. But don't get all upset somebody scratch your car. Somebody bang your car door in you. Or, don't take that car to the store. We don't want no grocery card to hit you. If you don't want, because people got them grocery cards out there. Don't get mad. There were 2 women that literally tore their cars up because one lady opened her door and slammed it into the car next to her and then closed the door. And the lady got so mad she took her car door and slammed the other lady's door. And then the lady got back in her car and slammed her door again. Then the lady and then she slammed her door again. And they went back and forth. Well, it's easy to get silly. It's very easy to let somebody make you silly. Trust me, it is. Come on, you know, all right, maybe none of y'all have never gotten upset. Right, maybe y'all maintain y'all cool at all times. But well, I can tell you that I need prayer. So, and people upset you. Got hit my car one time and just like wouldn't be quiet. That's why the man Aaron's so cool. He been in more car accidents. All he do, 3327272. Because he knows he's gonna be getting the money, you know. I didn't want my car hit. But you have to be able to sustain. In other words, it's easy to make an idol out of something. It's easy to make an idol out of something. So we have to be very careful that we don't make idols out of things that are just things. The people that lost all of their property through that tornado that went through and blew up that entire community. We're sorry for those people and what they lost, but they have their lives. They have their lives. And you don't want to lose anything, but you're alive. Things. Going back during the time of the Depression, when people lost their thing, their money, those people were literally jumping out of windows because they did not want to live if they couldn't live with all that they had the day before. Life was not worth living. So their money was their idol. Their money was their God. Their money was that which they worshiped. Their money which was that made them who they were. And if that's what makes you who you are, you're not very much. Because the capacity to lose it is in a twinkling of an eye. Your health. There is nothing greater than having be very careful that not making idols out of any of these things. Let us continue a little bit more, please. Where do we stop? 5. And when ye offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord, you shall offer it that it may be accepted. In other words, you just can't give God any old thing. That's why I try to tell you, you're not supposed to come here any old way. This is not a church. This is not come as you will. This is not come as you are. Wash up. Brush your teeth. Clean up. Don't come up in here looking like you wouldn't look if you was going on a date. If you was going on a date, dirty gym shoes, and your pants dropped down, and your drawers is all hanging out, then you definitely can't come up in here. You going on a date. I just want to see who you dating. I want to see who foolish enough to go out with you. Look at them in that manner. So if we get in a particular way when we're going out, when we come before the eternal, maybe there's another instance of how we also should look, how we should dress. Because what we offer to the eternal, we have to offer the best that we have. He talks about this is something that's eaten. Well, we don't have the temple anymore where you have to, when you bring these things, you have to eat them. So the temple, this is not applicable. So those are all, you got to eat that. No. These were the things that were brought during the time that the temple stood. Okay? So I want you to go down to verse 9. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corner of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt not glean the vineyard, neither shalt thou gather the fallen fruit of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them. I am the Lord your God. So it is a commandment to leave the corners of the field. That's a commandment to not be afraid to give. But you don't give everybody knocking on the door. You give to institutions that give to other people, that help people. Because people come and ask you all the time about giving something once you give one time. And I told you about the guys that used to come and I thought it was good to give them my money. And then it was like, we were on 87th Street. And then on Saturday, it'd be about 7, 8 people. I said, ooh, look at how God is blessing. No, the bums that pass the word around, fool is at 1347, where's 87th Street? Go see fool. So one of the elders said, Rabbi, you can't keep doing that. He said, let's get some food, let's get some diapers, let's get some stuff that we can give to the poor. So, you know, the next time it came, I said, get the bags ready. And they brought it out, and the people looked. They didn't want no food. They didn't want diapers. They didn't want canned goods. They wanted money. Well, if you are in such need, how do you not want these things that you say you need? And why do you need money to go buy? Valuable lesson. They never came back. This is somebody that opened his eyes and he realizes now that you can't take care of everybody by always constantly going in your pocket, giving people $2 or $3, because what you actually become for those people is an enabler. That's what you become. You become an enabler. And they know that they can always come and see you to get a little something. We're also told that we're supposed to honor the hoary head, to give honor to the elders. That's a sign of holiness. don't want to honor the age. And anybody older than you should be honored. The word Zaken. The word Zaken does not simply mean old person. It does not mean someone with gray. It's an acronym for this one has acquired wisdom. Zaken. So when I call somebody Zaken, it's honor. They earned it. I can't call them Zaken and, they're not acting in that manner. They're not acting in an honorable manner. We still must respect them, but we have to also understand that to be honored, you have to act honorable. To be honored, you have to act honorable. Verse 16. Up and down as a talebearer is one that loves gossip. If you have something to say about someone and you are not saying it to them, then it is pure, unadulterated gossip, and it is ungodly. Period. I don't care. Well, Rabbi, I'm just saying that so-and-so. Sorry. So when I say, well, let's call them in. Let's call them in. And that type of foolishness, it happens in a lot of other religious institutions, and people, I guess, just bring that with them where they come from. Because, some people love mess. Well, you know what she said? No, don't tell me what she said. Let me go to her. Why did she tell you instead of coming to me? Who are you? Who are you that you should have been getting this in? Are you the great disseminator of information? No, you're not. You're a person that loves mess. And you got people that love mess. And I'm telling you, don't walk in their mess. Because then it'll be all over your shoe. And some of them smells will be hard to get off. So my advice is to say, we don't do that. Yeah, well, I hear what you're saying, but if you have an issue, you need to talk to so-and-so. Because then when you go over here, and then you go over there, then you go over there, and then you go over there, and you got mess on mess, in mess, with mess, to mess. You got to stop it. It's not holy. You cannot make it. This next verse is probably one of the most important verses in all of the Torah. 17 and 18. Thou shalt not hate thy brother. So listen, people smile in your face, but in actuality, when they're not around you, you are the object of their scorn because they really disdain you. You got to be very, very careful. I used to tell the kids at the school, I said, well, that was my friend. Now, you thought that was your friend. But even your friend don't need all your business. And they would fight all the time because their business would meet them walking down the street. In other words, as soon as they got somebody little business, they ran and told 2, 3, 4, 5 more people. And then the people, when they saw you, they started talking about you. you're doing after you run around the building. You got good exercise. That's wonderful. I'm being very, very frank with you. Being very serious with you. So that we have an idea of what holiness is. So that you don't let anybody pour stuff in you to make you unholy. Because if you sit and you start taking it in, the next thing you're going and following them into the foolishness that they're into. And people love other people to be in their foolishness. Sister in New York says, well, Rabbi, what about when you have a brother and the brother wants so and so and such? I said, young lady, let me tell you something. I know none of these brothers up in here don't like this. Because if you have a man and he's not willing to marry you, you don't need to be with that Negro. If he cannot pay rent and mortgage, light bill and gas bill, you ain't got no business having no part of the rent. Brother, come on, brother. She ain't got no business with no half of the rent. Like she live in one half the house, you live in the other half the house. Foolishness. Somebody sprinkling oil on your head is not marriage. Some fool jumping up and down is not marriage. Just because he lay in the bed with you, you ain't married to that fool. He using you. Then your brother gets slipped. Oh, we don't have polygamy. We got polygyny. Oh, yeah, what is polygyny? That's not when you claiming somebody to be your wife. You just, hey. Just having fun. You know, you better learn vocabulary. You drop a little polygyny on you, baby. How much? And you think, ooh. Oh, boy, that's all right. I guess it's a polygyny. No, that's a step below polygamy. Polygamy, you might get something out of the deal. A piece of cornbread every now and then. 18. Please read 18. Thou shalt not do what? Oh! There's no great new commandment. It is given to the Hebrew people by the Eternal One of Israel. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. It's not a new commandment. It's very old. It's a part of our holiness code to love each other. And it told us before that loving also means having the capacity to offer correction. And sometimes when somebody offers you correction, and you get all sour mouth first, color me still. Who she thinks she is. Once you get that sour taste out your mouth, go on up and humble yourself and be able to say, you know what, I couldn't hear you first, but I thank you. I thank you because you were trying to bring correction. You were trying to help. Come on. Come on. Y'all supervisors know what y'all used to do. Well, no, you're not criticizing anyone. You're just critiquing. Well, to critique critique comes first, and then secondly, they give you the good stuff about you. Now, if they give you the good stuff, they say, you know what? You really dress nice. You're a nice dresser. And after they tell you that you're a nice dresser, they don't have anything, and then you can't be on time. You're never at your desk. Your work is incomplete. And you say, whoa, but I'm a nice dresser. Well, you know what? It's not really helping. It is really not helping. So criticizing, being critiqued, we all can be critiqued. And the worst critiquers are sometimes when a wife tries to help her husband.
Yeah.
He gets so, riled up because she's trying to tell him something. Come on, I know y'all. Okay, I'm guilty. Tony, if you're guilty, put your hand up. I've come to Tony. That's why he called no more names. I would call somebody that I know needed to have his hand up along with me, and that brother Tony. That we have that issue of sometimes getting instruction, of sometimes getting that critique, of sometimes saying, well, you need to think about it. But now you have women that you can't tell anything to either. Man, snap that head around. I know that ain't you. Snap that head around. Go back and forth. Negro what? I know. I mean, that's why it's rough when two people have the same temperament. When two people have the same temperament, I suggest you buy that headpiece, some boxing gloves, put a little belt thing on, and just when you get in the ring, do what you're going to do in the ring, and then leave your stuff, your anger in the ring, and then just come on out the ring. But don't, the capacity to hear each other. It's hard. You think so yourself. It's hard. It's very hard to hear when someone is criticizing you. And they're telling you that they love you. But it don't sound like love. But it really is. And if you stop and sit back and gain, here's what it is. When you gain, humility is a sign of strength. Humility is not a sign of weakness. And that's what I want you to know. The holiness code for the house of Israel. We have an obligation to love each other. You cannot lie cardinally with women. Men cannot lie with other men like they lie with women. That is a part of the holiness code. And yes, the society has a lot of rules, a lot of things that are allowed in the society, but you have an obligation, in my humble opinion, to observe this that the Eternal calls our holiness code. That's why it's not all right for people to lie with animals and get involved in bestiality. It's the holiness code. So that's all it is. It's nothing against anyone. It's trying to live like it. But see, here's the deal. All of it is holiness. Just don't say that you're against this for everything, Remember, when they say thou should not steal, nobody got upset until they actually started talking about what you was a thief of. And then when they said thou should not steal chicken, that's a problem. As long as you hear thou should not steal, that's okay. So let's not be, let's not condemn people who have an alternative lifestyle, but you selling drugs. Okay? But that ain't, I'm sorry. Holiness code. You're making idols. Well, maybe not just today. We don't know what you're going to do tomorrow. Holiness code. Behold,